Here's something else that I don't think we've considered, and it's something that I think I must have read. I know JD did probably a couple of years ago, or maybe a year and a half ago, about millennials and the generation that, of course, has helped propel Obama into the White House, and their search for authenticity. Do you think that if that is true of them, if the millennials are in this perpetual, search for authenticity, if they're really opponents of fake people, and they've believed that their heroes are being exposed as fakes, do you think that's going to have any bearing in the future on what they think politically? Are they going to become more jaded and reject politics altogether? Are they just going to be harder on candidates and choose more, more honest or more seemingly genuine candidates? Who among the 2016 field on our side would be able to play into that? I think that's an interesting question to look at. If millennials do have this tendency, and I don't know, that was just some article that I read that caused some debate before. But if you put that together with all of these people in politics that are, and news, that are lying, I believe that they're going to go for other sources and they're going to go for other candidates. Maybe not ideas. They might not have their ideas moved so much, but they might give more credence to a candidate that doesn't seem to be building themselves up to make themselves look good or something. I think it's an interesting question.
I think another big problem that the left has is the age of their candidates for president. Look, not only are like guys like Walker, Paul, Rubio, and Jindal, not only you look at those four, okay, because I look at those four as the four most likely to form the ticket. Okay, right now it looks like Walker, Rubio, but it could change. They not only are they all young. Young people, which is good. Young people look at that and say that's a break from that dishonest past. See what I mean? Obama was dishonest. We still like him because he lets us do what we want with our bodies, but he was dishonest. All right? And Hillary, she looks like the past of dishonesty. Not only are all four of them very honest, but they're also young and very effective, especially in Rubio's case, effective communicators.
I would disagree, Andy, on the point about Obama letting us do what we want with our bodies. He's not proven that at all. That's not something that he's been particularly good on, actually. So, I mean,
you don't think young people see him that way with gay rights?
I don't think so. I honestly do not.
Incredibly heavily pro-choice, up to the point of partial birth and so forth. I mean.
I don't think that that's how they see him. I honestly don't.
Really? Okay.
Really, I don't think that they see him as a proponent of more freedoms in that regard. I just don't. There are a lot of issues in that realm, and I don't think that he's been particularly good on a lot of them. So the thing I want to get back to what Fishy was saying about the authenticity being an attractive feature of candidates for my generation. By the way, thankfully there are some awesome young Republicans out there. I just want to shout out to my buddies here in Union County who are hopefully getting some stuff going. This idea of authenticity being a huge factor, being something that we pay attention to, is absolutely, to me, I think it's something I've heard a lot about. It's something that the people do care about. They don't even really care about the disagreement so much, as long as there is a idea that you're talking to somebody honestly, that this is somebody who is a real person. And I think that's not something that they got to see with Mitt Romney, say, and they certainly got a lot more of that feel with Barack Obama. And I think this Brian Williams thing, for any of them, I mean, none of the people in my age group that I know watch Brian Williams. None of them do. I mean, it's hard to find people in my parents' age group that watch Brian Williams, at least in my area, the people that I know in my circles. But I think that there's a trend to definitely going into the more authentic people, the people who are going to be straight with you with what their perspective is and who they are and what they are and how they talk about these things. And I think that's a good trend. I think that leads to more honest debates, and I do think in the two that you pointed out, Fishy, either they're going to go for the more honest politicians or they're going to sort of throw their hands up and get out of politics. I do think that the former, the throwing their hands up and giving up on politics is a little bit more likely, but I do think there are going to be a lot more who do go after the honest candidates.
We didn't give up when Roe v. Wade was decided, and we kept fighting, and here we are all these years later, and abortion is less popular than it ever was, and it's getting less popular every day because science is helping our cause. With a generation of kids who grew up, their first picture is an ultrasound. They recognize and just know intuitively the innate humanity of the human being, and they're seeing that our arguments, which we have never stopped making, we never gave up, we never stopped, and the culture has changed.